of his wonderful hosting and ability. Just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to come on and share a little bit more with you about credit and also have my cocktail. Got my Grand Marnier here and some alkaline tea because we know that it's cold and flu season. So we want to make sure that we are able to share some good information with everybody. And so having said that, I'm going to go straight into this information about credit, because it's super important that right now people are able to protect their finances. There's so much stuff going on in the community and so much stuff going on, with the second half of the shutdown, and people really need to be able to know what's going on with their finances. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about that. I'm Mia Love. A lot of people know me as a Good Credit Diva. I did change my brand. So now it is Real Freedom with Love, and you'll see that everywhere. So the meaning behind Real Freedom with Love is because in order for you to have financial freedom, in order for you to have physical freedom, in order for you to have spiritual or mental freedom, you have to do that with love. And so it works out well that my last name is Love. But listen, let's get straight into the information that you are here to see. There was a question that was posted on social media that you paid off your debts and your credit score dropped. Why would your credit score drop when you pay off a debt? Let me tell you why. Because sometimes, now here, let me back up one step. Everybody's situation is different and there is no one size fits all. So anytime I see that someone posts something on social media, I will always offer to do a free consultation, because it would be just like if I had rotator cuff surgery and you had rotator cuff surgery, we are going to heal very different. So nobody's credit is going to be the same. Just like if I win the lotto and you win the lotto, we're both going to spend our money in different ways. So I'm always going to offer free consultations. If you would like that, you can drop me a line on Original Mia Love or Real Freedom with Love. But let's get straight into the information. So the question that was posed, and let me just read it directly. I paid off my debt and my credit score dropped. Why? Well, there's a couple reasons why. Now, sometimes if you paid off your only installment account, that will mean that you no longer have a credit mix. And if you remember a couple episodes ago, I talked about how your credit score is calculated. And that is of a couple of things. Now, one of those things is your credit mix. That's 10% of your score. So if you pay off your only revolving account, you no longer have revolving credit. And so that can make your score go down. And then the other thing is that if you pay off one loan and it's your smallest loan or your smallest credit card, say you have one that has a $500 balance, one that has a $1,000 balance, and one that has a $200 balance, you pay off that $200 balance, your debt ratio is not necessarily going to be aligned because you still have the other two cards with the high balance. So what's going to happen is that could also lead to your score dropping. And then the other reason is that if you recently applied for a loan and you didn't get approved, you've got that hit on your credit report, and that can make your score drop too. So the point that I want to make is that in general, paying off a loan is not going to have a huge impact in your credit score unless you're able to knock everything out at the same time. But again, everybody's situation is completely different. And so I want to make sure that you know that we're here to help you, and that as much as I love to give these tips and tricks because it's so important to our industry, I want to make sure that you know that I need to look at your case individually and figure out how I can help you out with exactly what you've got going on. Now, this is not a one size fits all type situation. So Josh knows, we've gone through some programs and things like that with him. And I think he's coming back in with his Wi-Fi now, but we've done some things specifically with his credit that would not have worked with mine. You know what I mean? And he's been able to be successful on that platform. And so I want to make sure that you're able to be successful too. So listen, if you have any questions, reach out. You can post them on social media. I super appreciate all of you that tag me and all the stuff that people have questions about, because I want to be able to help you. But just know that if I don't post the answer to the question right then and there, it's because I need to talk to you individually. We analyze your credit report and we look at exactly what's going on. Someone just asked me about why we don't delete student loans, and I want to give you the information on that too. Because I went to college a long time ago, long time ago, long time ago, like they say in the movies. So, and no jokes from you, Josh, because he always teases me about my age. But listen, I would never want that student loan to come off because that's a part of my credit history. That's my oldest credit line. So I don't want that to be deleted. If I paid it late, yes, I want that delinquent payment to be deleted, but I don't want that full thing to go away because that's taking away my oldest line of credit, and that too is going to drop your score. So those are the initial tips and tricks. And I see that the master of ceremonies, the man of the hour, Mr. Josh Davis, who is here to end racism, represent Campari community, brown and balanced, all the rest of that. We are so glad that you are feeling better. And I want to turn it over to you.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? You good?
And we can see you.
it wouldn't be 2020 if something didn't go wrong, right? So, we didn't have 4 smooth episodes, and then of course, the Xfinity gods here in Chicago had to mess with my connection for a minute. But I'm back. I'm gonna keep you on for a second. I'm gonna finish my intro because it was good, and I was on the roll, and I was feeling good, and then it all went out. So, like I was saying, everybody, welcome again. Y'all got Mia already, so that was my first guest that I normally would want to bring in and do a nice little intro for, but I know she gave y'all some really good tips and tricks, man. We got some more very, very special guests coming in today. I'm really excited about today's show. It's some OGs, like Mia said. She went to school a long time ago. So she's one of the first AKAs ever. But that's just what happens out here, man. With Brown and Balance, we reach back to our elders to get tips and tricks and help things we need in the future. So I just want to say thank you for coming on today. Thank you for saving me while I was having some technical difficulties, man. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again. Is there anything else you want to leave with everybody, tips and tricks wise, credit wise?
Just tap in. The best thing I can say is tap in, because like I said, everybody's situation is different. Like I'm going to make my Grand Marnier and tea different than you would make your Grand Marnier and tea. So listen, everybody's situation is different. I'm here to help you. There's no one size fits all, but the good part about it is we can fix it. Anything that you have going on with your credit or your finances, we can fix it. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too small. And you deserve to have real freedom with love. So that's what I've got to say.
There it is. You want to tell everybody how to reach you in case they've been under a rock and don't know how to reach you?
Sure, absolutely. So you can hit me up on Instagram at Original Mia Love, or you can hit me up on Instagram at Real Freedom with Love. I also am very free with my phone number. It's on the bottom of all of my texts, so feel free to reach out, shoot me a text message. And Josh, just so you know, I did do the update on my phone, so I can now text and watch a video at the same time.
About time. You did it by yourself? You didn't need me?
I did it all by myself.
I'm very proud of you. It's about time. Right? It took you, 6 years of knowing you to do it, but you did it. That's what's up. Well, just the update came out today, just so you know.
Come on. I just did one. I'm good.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, everybody. Well, look, I'm back. Thank you again. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but hey, it's 2020, right? That's what's been going on. We're going to move to our next segment real quick while I try to regroup myself and get myself back together. We have my In the Streets correspondent, my very good friend, my big sister, Miss Sherri Bradley, coming into the video.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Joshua. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah. It was a rough, man. It was a rough week. I couldn't miss this. I was like, I got to make sure that I feel better to be able to do this, to bring this to the people, because it's as important as this is for me to be a part of this and the spearhead. Bring all y'all wonderful faces and all the things you guys bring to the industry to everyone else. So I'm gonna get out the way, get myself reset, and I'm gonna let you bring in the special guest who's now a TikTok and let her,
I'm a fan. She is. Okay, everyone. So this is a Somebody Come Get These Kids segments. And for those of you who are not blessed to have kids, then hopefully one day you will, if that is in your plans for your future. They truly are a blessing. I would not change. I would change some things, maybe, but I would definitely not change having children. I have one son, Sean P. I know a lot of you guys know him. He is 25. And parenting never ends. I'll tell you that. I love him to pieces, but I'm just probably too much involved with his life. But I'm very involved, and we're very close. And I'm thankful for the relationship that we've grown to have as he's come into his adulthood. So a new mom. She's not that new anymore. We're gonna find out how old her beautiful baby is. It's Janae Williams. She is in Atlanta, right now.
Yes, North Atlanta.
Yes, North Atlanta. Previously, New Orleans. And Janae has a beautiful baby girl. Tell us her name and how old she is and how she makes you feel.
Her name is Genevieve. She is 1 year and 8 months, which is so shocking to me. And she is a ball of fire. She is me times 10, and it is, a joy and also scary to watch.
Yeah.
They say you end up you could possibly end up raising yourself. That's literally what I'm doing.
I understand. completely understand. I have a 3-year-old, and my granddaughter lives with me, and she emulates everything I do. She's in that tape recorder stage now where she repeats everything you say, and it's rough. I'm like, oh my God, it's a little me, and I can't be like, okay, what's going on with you? So what has changed in your life since being a relatively new mom? You just changed cities. I know we're going to talk a little bit about your TikTok sensation. I love those videos. But what changed drastically in your life since your daughter was born, if anything?
Oh gosh. They say becoming a parent just makes your life 10 times harder, and that has never been truer in my life, especially now. It's like I've always been a goal-oriented person, and trying to be that person that still achieves all the goals that I have set for myself, in the past, and also incorporate all my new goals in motherhood. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle to balance the two. But I feel like, I tell myself, as long as I get one thing done a day, as long as I accomplish one thing, I'm okay. Because that's really all I can do, especially in these times. I can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
So as long as I can. Yeah, as long as I can achieve something, or get myself into a position to better achieve my goals every day. That's really what I shoot for.
Yeah, that is it's a hurdle. It is a hurdle, especially in these times, and being at home. It's easy to feel complacent and just like you're not doing enough or you're not doing anything, and all of those feelings compounded can really get on you, and then add on a toddler to that mix. So I definitely understand that. Can we talk about TikTok already?
We can talk about TikTok.
Okay, so how often, if you guys have not seen Janae's TikTok videos, she's dancing and making cocktails, giving bartending tips, and it's very entertaining. I love them. How often do you tape them or film them?
Well, so let me first off say that my sister is the GOAT. My sister's 18 years old.
Okay.
And she is basically the director and curator of all my videos. I basically come up with the cocktails, and she comes up with, the transitions and all that other stuff. She's the one who gives me all the ideas. So I am very grateful to have her in my life. This would have not been working if it weren't for her. But I try to do them every 2 weeks. And with everything that I do, it's best for me to batch content. So this is a very thought out process. You might not think it is, but the way I do them, it's a very thought out process. So I try to think of, cocktails that I know and can make videos of. And I take that to my sister, and she comes up with the music, comes up with, how we're going to actually act this out and make it, look cool or appealing. And then I try to make at least 2 videos every time I film. So that way, I'm not, trying to film every night, because that's just not an attainable goal with a child who likes to wake up in the middle of the night. So it makes more sense for me to make as much content as I can in one day. But that's usually how that happens.
Cool. Well, kudos to her, because they're very well done. So she might be a future director coming our way in the near future. Do you want to have more children? Uh-huh.
No. What's that song? No.
Okay. No. That's okay. Absolutely. I understand that. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 29. I'll be 30 in January.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. Tell me some of your, I was relating back to your TikTok videos, but really since I've met you at camp a few years ago, and pretty much every time I see you, you always look so beautiful and relaxed and well put together and healthy. What are do you have any regular healthy tips or regimens that you follow, or what do you fit in with your daughter? How do you do it? Do you do it when she's sleeping? Does she do it with you?
Okay, so yes, I do. And just off of that, I've just always been naturally skinny, like just naturally, just straight up and down. It's just yeah. But I do try to work out because sometimes that's the only way I can, release stress during the day, and sometimes just during the week is taking that time out to work out. So what I've been doing now that I live at home with my maternal family and I have, babysitters on hand sometimes, I usually take her nap time as my time to do whatever I need to do. So I'm either every time she goes down for a nap, which is once a day now, I have a decision to make. I can either get some work done, I can do some chores, and run some errands, or I can go work out. And usually, how that decision happens is how I'm feeling that day. Like, do I really need to get out of this house? And because I went from having my own home to now living with my family, so it's a lot of people in my space. So that's really how and that's really how I maintain my fitness is I try to go at least twice a week, and sometimes I just need that motivation, so I'll go on Instagram and look at these fit girls and be like, okay, let me get my butt to the gym. But I work out in the gym at least twice a week, and I also just eat healthy. Like I haven't had pork or beef in 2 years, and the reason behind that is just every time. Thank you.
Good for you.
Yeah, every time I would eat it, it would just make me feel horrible. So I stopped eating that. And I think I'm just slowly going towards a vegan lifestyle. I now eat poultry and seafood, but I think in 2021 I'm going to stop eating poultry and just stick to seafood and become vegetarian. But it's just also incorporating vegetables and fruit. Like I don't eat junk food. So fruit and vegetables is what I eat. And so does my daughter. Like ever since she's been eating solid, she's been eating cooked vegetables. And I think it's funny because I'll try to feed her those Chef Boyardee type meals for toddlers, and she won't eat that.
Yeah.
But if I saute some asparagus or some broccoli with some salt and pepper and butter, she'll eat it like it's her last meal.
That's funny. So you don't feed her beef or pork either, right?
No.
She follows the diet that you eat. That's awesome. My granddaughter she eats everything because I eat everything.
I saw her trying to eat that pepper the other day.
She is
trying to eat a raw pepper.
Yeah, she loves anything. If I'm cooking, whatever it is, she'll come and just grab it off the cutting board and bite into it. I'm like, one day you're going to grab the wrong thing and it's going to be a wrap. Let's talk about, we've got a few minutes left, but I want to talk about something that people don't usually talk about when we talk about parenting. And how stressful is parenting for you? My son is 25. I could go on for quite some time on how stressful things have been over the years, and even now with having my 3-year-old granddaughter. So what are some areas, how do you deal with it? Have you had some rough times? So how do you get through those?
Gosh, I want to say, I'm just gonna be completely honest here. For me, parenthood has been a struggle, and it's been an extreme struggle. I've dealt with postpartum depression, and I've also been also in that motherhood can be very alienating, especially when you work in the service industry, because you can't, when you work in the service industry, you're really supposed to show up with a smile on your face, or that's what people expect. But when you feel like you thought about killing yourself that morning and you got to go to work, that's hard to do. It's really hard. Nowadays, this is in the past. This is at least a year ago. But counseling and therapy really, really helped me. And I honestly didn't get therapy until about a year in of being a mother, until after her first birthday was the first time I got counseling. But I hit postpartum really hard. And people watching this who know me probably are like, but you don't seem like it, but that's how depression works,
Exactly.
It doesn't manifest itself how you always think it does. But therapy is very important, and I feel like a lot of people in the Black community need to know this, that therapy works just as long as you make that self-investment. Nowadays, it's hard to maintain it, being literally a full-time mother. but I try to meditate 3 times a day. So I'll take 10 minutes in the morning, the afternoon, and at night. And then I also journal. Just being able to just write down and get your thoughts out also helps. So those are the 2 ways that I manage now: meditation and journaling. And once you develop it into a habit, it really, really works.
Awesome. Those are some excellent tips that I need to take heed of myself. I think they might be coming in to cut us off, but I want to talk real quickly about your blog. I know that you mentioned before that you used to do it before, and then you've kind of picked it back up. Is that right? And tell us what it covers and where do we find it?
Yeah, so I have a blog called Everyday Janae, everydayjanae.com. But I started blogging in 2015. I had a natural hair blog after I went natural. I got a lot of questions from people like, how do you do this? What products do you use? So I, came up with a central place to put all the information. But my everydayjanae.com blog is about tech accessories, and productivity. So I just have a love for like organization and stationery, but it's really hard to have Post-its and all that kind of stuff, like highlighters around with a young child. So I had to develop ways to do that without having all those things. And I decided to, live a paperless life. So basically everything that needs to be written down is written on an iPad, and everything that needs to be typed up or marked down is done on a computer. And in doing that, I was like diving into this world of just like tech and tech accessories. I started learning more about like home tech accessories. So in order to share all that information, I created everydayjanae.com. So on there right now is just a bunch of like product recommendations for working from home offices to mobile work setups, because sometimes you can't, especially in my case, you can't just sit down and work at a desk all the time because my child wants to go downstairs and eat. So I got to bring my computer downstairs, but it also has to be a manageable work setup. I also have a passion for finding functional tech accessories geared towards women. So like a lot of really good tech accessories like MacBook cases or things of that nature, they're in 3 colors. They're in blue, black, or gray, which is not cute, and I love to accessorize. So I spend a lot of time looking up, cute things that do the same jobs. And it's not a lot, so it takes a lot of time, but those are things those are really the things that I discuss on my blog.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, I think we are at our max limit, but I want to say what a pleasure it's been to see you, your beautiful face, and interact with you. I'm a big TikTok fan. I do crack up at the videos. I have my granddaughter watching it too, so she dances along with you.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad. And thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a good time with you, Sherri and Josh.
Always. Actually, I got a question.
Yes.
With me, my children, 18, 12, and 10, with being the pandemic and us being at home, and like, how are y'all keeping those little ones? Because I mean, they're small, and I know they got a ton of energy. Like mine have a ton of energy still, so I can only imagine toddlers. How are y'all keeping them busy and keeping them motivated with e-learning and all this adjustment that we have to make? Like, what are some tips and tricks that you all are doing that can help someone else that might be in the same position?
Well, for me, I know like it's important for kids to get outside, and I know it's really hard. Mm-hmm. So a thing that I love to do, kind of like kill 2 birds with 1 stone, is I'll take her to the park. I'll run around the track with a stroller 2 times, and then just let her kind of just like exhaust herself. Also, we just go for walks often, and then for especially just trying to keep her engaged in e-learning, I do a lot of apps. I do this app called Speech Gloves, which helps her with her, speech. Mm-hmm. I use baby signing time, and I've been using that since she was 3 months old. My daughter knows at least 200 words signing, which is amazing to me. But we have literal full-on conversations. Baby signing secretary, that might be good for you too. Baby signing time. Yeah. And then I use ABC Mouse now too. She's a little young for it, but it's just kind of get her, used to using electronic devices.
I've had Lonnie on ABC Mouse for over a year, maybe going on 2 years, and she was young for it when I signed her up for it, but she's used to the screen now and moving stuff around, and now she's really starting to do a lot of the interactive practice stuff with tracing letters and numbers and identifying different things. I also use that speech blubs thing that you have. Lonnie has, my God, so much energy, and I'm like, whoo, she really keeping me young. So I almost hate to go outside with her because as soon as she hits that wind, baby, she takes off, and I gotta get up after her to keep up with her. So she has a lot of energy to burn off. Thankfully, the support system is, over the roof. Her dad, my ex-husband, my mom, and my sister, and the other grandmother are all very involved, and she rotates between all of us a lot, and she'll do a lot of physical stuff with like her granddad and dad. Like she's a she's a rough little girl. She likes to punch and kick and jump on you and jump off of shut up, Josh. And jump off the chairs, So it's I will try and tire her out, and she's not big on naps anymore. But when she's overtired, then she just becomes a real handful to deal with. So, and then I just got her a lot of these. So these are like workbooks with water erase markers, and you can wipe them clean. And she likes getting stuff. Like, what woman doesn't, or who doesn't? But she's like, "Is that for me? Did you get it at the store?" Like, yes, Kalani, I got it at the store. So she's really starting to get involved in certain things. She said that I could give away all of her dolls, and she wants, of course, she wants all the new toys, but she's really interested in taking things apart now and putting them back together. She has a screwdriver, and she, gets those little screws out and gets them back in. So I'm going to start looking for those types of toys that will just kind of further and encourage that knowledge, that inquisitive nature of hers. But I also believe in a melatonin tablet at night.
That's right.
To end the day off, sometimes Lonnie needs a melatonin tablet.
I ain't mad at
it. That's what she would have if she come to Uncle Josh's house. That's what. There you go.
Yeah.
Together. But thank y'all, man. Really dope. Really, I appreciate both of y'all, man. This is y'all making me want a kid, but I'm not gonna do it. So I appreciate it. No, I got the cutest two babies. Like Janae's baby, like when she posted the first picture,
she is.
We all wanted that baby, like.
Right. But Janae's baby was fly from the maternity shoot before she even came with the maternity shoot. It was already like, okay.
I wasn't playing with that maternity shoot.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It was beautiful.
Guys, hopefully, somebody out there heard you guys that needed this. Like I said, as parents, we always evolve and always trying to get better. Even with me having older kids, I'm still learning and still trying to, do things to be better. So I appreciate all the tips and things you guys share with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, honey.
Always. All right, everybody. I was to come get these other episode is usually come get these, and it's another word in between there. But we're trying to keep it deep for now. But for everybody out there, y'all haven't heard me say it today because we had a little problem. But Campari community, hit them up on Instagram. It's pop up on here in a minute, man. My producer will definitely pull it up on the screen. Boom. See what I mean? Campari community, jump on Instagram, follow them, please. Be a part of the mailing list. Like I said, I got this cool hoodie that I wear every week that it just means a lot to me for what Campari is doing, allowing us to have this platform and really putting all their work and all their sweat and tears and blood, sweat, and tears and all that behind it. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Campari One. And everybody, please, for me, go in, follow them on the gram, follow what they have going on. It's constant education. It's constant events, constant things going on with the Campari community. And then sign up for the mailing list. Like I said, you never know what you need until you get it. And a lot of times there are things that'll get mailed out to you randomly or emailed to you randomly, and you didn't know you needed it until it showed up. So with that being said, I'm trying to make up because usually I've said it about 3 or 4 times by now. You know what I mean? But follow them, hit the mailing list, become a part of the family. All right. So now Speaking of Campari, my partnership with Campari started around Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a very special day. If you don't know what it is, it ain't my job to educate you. There's a really, really dope, really dope program that we put together on Juneteenth with Campari when we did something similar to this, where we brought together a lot of Black leaders in our beverage. And we all had like basically a sit down round table, a catch up. A lot of us knew each other very well over the years. We found each other, in the game through social media, through travels, through different things. And we all just really had a sit down, chop it up session and just kind of just kick back and just enjoyed the day. With that, I got my pint-sized homie from Chicago, man, Miss Alexis Brown. She was on there. So we're going to bring her in here. I'm gonna catch up with Lexi because, we're in the same city, but we really haven't had a chance to really chop it up. She been jet setting and moving around a little bit, you know what I mean? And we're going to catch up, see what she's been doing since Juneteenth. And, we got to talk about, something real monumental happened last night. Anybody out there that loves hip hop and loves our culture, because last night was culture.
It was.
What, I have a viewpoint on it and I haven't shared it. I can't wait to see what she says. But we're going to get to that in a minute. But first, Lexi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was actually just spiking my tea with my Grand Marnier that you guys sent me. It's coming right in handy. Like Sherri said earlier, you're like, it's a little early, but you know what? This is perfect because it's low ABV, but it's going to add a little bit of that sugar that I need in my tea instead of adding extra stuff. So I'm just about to pour this in my teacup, which I got from the Silver Room.
Black owned business.
Black owned business here in the crib. So just, just a little something.
All right. Well, look, Cause and Stir's been you've been through a lot of changes over the last year or two. Been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of lefts and rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has.
But you're still out here pushing, and you're still out here doing your thing. What's been going on since June?
Right. So I mean, just you in general, and I think you just said it right. You got to just keep pushing. Like no matter what you're going through, you're gonna go through things. That's life. You're gonna have obstacles. If you go through life and it's just super smooth, that people are very privileged to go through life that way because they don't really learn from experience because you haven't experienced much. So experience is a great teacher, a great instructor for progression. And if you want to be progressive, you roll with the punches and you keep it moving no matter what's thrown your way, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's same with this pandemic,
Yeah, but see, and I'm a little biased myself. That's just the Chicago way. We don't know how to stop. We don't know how to, conform. We don't know how to just rest on our laurels. We're gonna adjust and we're gonna make it happen and we're gonna change and we're gonna keep going forward and we're gonna win at the end of the day. Like we don't know how to stop. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, yeah, that is something that Chicago breeds those type of people. I would agree with you. Seeing past the adversity, seeing past your circumstance.
Absolutely. So what's on the horizon? What you got coming up?
So I'm really excited. I think that just with all of the changes and like learning, what I learned just about partnerships and about creating something of longevity or trying to have something be sustainable, you have to have the right teams. So we have focused our energy into partnering with the Bill Bronzeville. Essentially, they give out capital resources. We just became a small business development center on the south side over on 51st and over on 51st and Prairie. So people that are trying to get in hospitality, whether it's they're creating a tea brand, whether they're creating they want to beta test a new recipe out and see how their new menu is going to be out. They offer like resources for that. So we thought that, focusing our energy to educating people that want education in the hospitality sector and expanding those opportunities. We partner with them and we utilize their incubator, the Bronzeville incubator, to do our hospitality classes. So we've been more focused right now on, just helping people who have been furloughed or who have, been laid off with resources to grants and helping them fill out the applications and really just like I said, giving out more resources to people during this time because we really kind of needed to rebuild.
Absolutely. And I love the fact, I mean, kudos to you for doing it in the community. Like, anybody that don't know, 51st, I used to live around the corner on Wabash.
Yeah, me too.
Like 51st and Prairie is not, what I'm saying,
It used to be the stroll.
Yeah, for real. Like it started 39th and went all, yeah. So, what I mean? The fact that you're doing it in the community, salute to you for that, because that's super important for people in that community to see that. You know what I mean?
And you know what? It's important for people in that community to see it and to be taught about what was once there. Like Bronzeville is not called Bronzeville for any, just because, like, it has meaning behind it. It's where the bronze people were, where they lived and thrived. And can I share something with y'all? Hold on.
Yeah, everything.
I got gems. So look, this book, I've been reading this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Policy Kings, the true story of Chicago's policy kings and numbers racketeers.
Mm.
So I don't know if many people don't know, but the lottery in general, before it was the national lottery, it was the Illinois lottery.
Yep.
But before it was the Illinois lottery, it was policy. And that was created in part by the black communities all over the nation during the Great Migration. And it was a way for us to literally create wealth within ourselves and create an economic system without the help of government entities. And they really thrived. And it wasn't until the mob came and took it from them that they lost their power. And then in turn, the mob did a deal with the government, and so basically sold it to the government. So I just like to give that context when I'm talking about like what was and why it's not there now, and how we need to truly invest in ourselves and kind of partner together and come together and get some type of a better ecosystem for things that are essential to us, and for things that we need to basically thrive as a community and as a race.
Absolutely. Some of y'all that don't understand what policy and running numbers and all that was, if you have them, talk to your grandmothers and uncles and grandfathers out there. They'll explain you exactly what that was back in the day. I actually need to pick that book up if you don't mind.
Yeah. It's a great book. I got so crazy thing. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I think I don't know if I probably didn't mention it on the last live because we were talking more about business. Then this is a real like catch up between you and I, because I ain't seen you in a long time, and I ain't talked to you for real. But yeah, like at the beginning of the pandemic, my car got stolen, and in the car I keep all like my books because I do my classes, so it was in like my little carry-on suitcase. They stole everything out of there. So this was one of the books that was in there. So I'm like kind of getting my books back together and getting I had a lot of things highlighted because I talked about it in my classes and stuff, and I'm kind of building my library back up. But that was one of the books that I had to get replaced, and it's really great. Another book that I use for just again context and just talking about some positive things that were going on and trying to build off that for what it is that we want our new community to be. But it was this one too, the Black Chicago Renaissance. Talking about how people essentially, like I said, had to reinvent themselves, coming out of what they had. But they had a lot of skills. They were ready and willing to put in a level of work ethic to build themselves up from where they had came from, whether it was the South or whether it was whatever. But yeah, Chicago is a special place, man. It's kind of like it really is innately in us to really, make something out of nothing. And if you have the will, the drive to want to do it, then you can do it.
Absolutely. So what you got? What you seeing causing stir the next year, two? I got a feeling eventually we'll come out of what we're in. Eventually it'll get better, man. Everybody stay home, stay safe, wear masks, please. But in the meantime, when we do come out, is what direction you see yourself going in? Because it start more on the event side, or you want to stick with more of the education, or like?
I personally am very, very passionate about history and education. So I know that I personally will continue to be spreading the good gospel and all of the things that I have acquired, all of the knowledge that I acquired over this time and how it relates, knowing where I come from and how it relates to where I want to go. I'm going to keep talking that. So that is always going to be essentially a part of what Cause and Stir is too, just because I'm always going to be involved in it. But I do see it expand. Like I appreciate doing the events, because the events are a way for us to highlight the people that are grasping the information and learning how to utilize it, in the right way. And we're essentially giving a platform for people to, like this, like Brown and Balance. We're giving a platform for people that are doing something to get seen and heard, So of course we're going to continue to do events when we can, but we only know how to do them one way. And it's about like touching and seeing people and really like creating an actual experience. And while we have virtual and this new digital world, I just think about, man, if I was up at Magic City last night up in that thing to fully experience it one-on-one, I know that was an unforgettable experience for those people that was in that room that night. You know what I'm saying? That's something that they gonna tell their grandkids about that tonight. Like, man, I was there. Man. I was there.
Man, look, okay, so I was trying to hold off on it for a minute, but Brown and Balance, the one thing when I created this thing is all about showing everybody our culture. You know, like when we go to events, it was never like, events catered to us. So now this was a way for me to say, all right, well, everybody got to come see how we get down.
Hey, if we would have had, if this was not the pandemic and we would have had a watch party for that, I'd have been with everybody from like,
I've been to 8 last night if it wasn't pandemic. That.
Oh my God. So
with that, so everybody that doesn't know what we're speaking about, last night, we all love hip hop culture, and hip hop culture is a big part of Brown and Balance. I love hip hop. I'm a hip hop kid. I grew up on it. Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy, because I'm not calling him Jeezy. He Young Jeezy. Back from 03 when I met him when I was at Secrets. You know what I mean? Like I love this dude.
This is gonna be fun.
Man, you hear me? They had a very monumental moment last night. Anybody that knows their history knows them dudes really don't like each other for very valid reasons.
For very valid reasons.
I got my thoughts on it, but I'm gonna let you, give your what happened last night.
All right.
Felt that won and why.
Oh, wait, who won? You want me to tell who won?
You say, in your opinion, who won?
All right, so listen. I saw a meme that really put it the best way. It said, Jeezy makes music for trap guys that want to be better and want to do something else with themselves, while Gucci makes music for trap stars that's stuck in being trap stars. They own drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no shade to Gucci, because Gucci got hits too. Don't get me wrong. Like, Gucci got hella hits. He definitely turns up. But just, Jeezy is that young motivation, like that really like, hey, this is where I came from, but this is where I want to go. And made mistakes, but I want to right my wrongs. Now, Mans did make a big mistake, and Gucci got his own for holding his ground on that, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, for somebody to come at you and you basically defeat them when it's a sneak attack, you gonna always, like, can't nobody take that from you. So you always gonna beat your chest when it come to that. Like, no, like you did that, and you held your own. But at the same time, like, when you gonna get over that mentality?
Yeah. Yep.
And Mans was basically saying like Jeezy, like, hey, listen, man, I'm a grown man and I'm gonna own my stuff. And I told you when we talked, like,
yeah.
What I'm willing to do this with you. Like, I want to,
But see, the thing I love, you know what I'm saying? One, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Gucci. I respect his talent. Gucci's been in the streets and hey, look, I rocked him in the club. I rocked with him when we was in Atlanta. Like, yeah, when the song come on, they're dope. The thing I loved about what Jeezy did was, one, if you ever been in the streets and been street affiliated, anything like that, man, whether Jeezy sent his man to go kill Gucci or whether Jeezy's camp took it upon themselves, because that can happen as well.
Definitely.
Jeezy might not even have nothing to do with the hit.
He didn't. He said it. He just said it on a mixtape. You know, when the mixtapes was hot back in the day, he said it still like, man, I got so-and-so on anybody here who do whatever. and somebody in his camp took that literally, figurative, however he took it and he did something with it. That's why words are powerful.
Exactly. Which is why I was like, I get Gucci coming and I get the way he approached it. Because he didn't come to win last night. He didn't come to win. Because if he came to win, he left a lot of songs on the table
he left a lot of songs on
that would have
made
a lot more in that. But the thing about culture is, the thing about I love is like, Black people we have to do better. At some point, we got to be better and we got to grow up and we got to get out of it. I understand, you know what I'm saying, being in the street, but when you get out the streets, because neither one of them is street dudes no more.
Nah.
Y'all are millionaires. Y'all are trendsetters. Y'all changed the game. There would be no trap rap without y'all two, plus, as much as he be saying stupid stuff, early tip, you know what I mean? He say stupid stuff every day, and we know that. That's another discussion. But
the back, you know what the difference is too?
Mm-hmm.
Like just even what just happened with King Von. You know what I'm saying? Like, people into it, but then now you got social media. Now you got social media involved, and now they egging things on and instigating things and making things bigger and making headlines. So now it's like these people have to portray who they think or what they think. And
well, the thing is, you can't talk about that's the difference between this new generation of guys around my age. I'm 41. When you said something, people came and saw you about it. Nowadays, people just talk on the internet, and it's a different case. So now these dudes, they see each other all the time, and they're in the same place talking on the internet crazy each other. I don't understand any of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? The moment Gucci lost was when Jeezy said, "All right, cool. You did the diss track. All right, I came to you as a man. I did this," and he went right in to Get Your Mind Right. And I saw Gucci face say, "Oh, you can't keep the negativity." And I think that's the most important thing that came. At some point, either you're gonna have to stay negative and stay away from them, or you're gonna have to try to find a way. I'm not trying to tell them what to do, but you got to try to find a way to make peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And last night,
you felt that. You still feel that to this day. Like, you didn't even have to. You could have played the song and just let the song. You didn't even have to play that song.
Man, when he played it, I said, "Oh, he gonna play."
We already knew. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
Well, I was laughing. He put a lot of spice on some of them lines.
Yes.
And it was like he still feel that way. And it's like, the one thing I hear a lot of people, especially in our community, we always talking about progression and moving ahead. Mm-hmm. We got a way to figure out some type of therapy or healing or something. I get it. Man can't try to kill me. I'm probably gonna have a problem with you for the rest of my life. Yes. But if I'm gonna agree to be in the same room with you and I'm gonna agree to try to do something for the betterment of what we do, the culture and what we do, then we gotta figure out come to the middle. We ain't gotta like each other.
Do you feel like them doing the song that they did together at the end was a kind of a truce or a saying that they did, or do you think that was just
first step? I think it was the first step.
You think it was first step?
I think they need to have a back room mafia conversation. Just Gucci and G. Lay everything out on the table. Don't have none of their crews there. Don't have none of their boys there. Just them two sitting in the room, locked in the room, and just talk. And then come to figure out a way to say, all right, either we're going to be cool or we not. But when we're out and when we're in the public face, we're going to show a unified front.
Yeah.
Remember, we talk about this in our industry, right?
Yeah.
Industry, a lot of times, some of us might not get along the best.
Yeah.
But we're all trying to push the culture forward. And that's
absolutely
important. So even if we don't all get along, me and you have had disagreements, you and other, we've all had disagreements because we're all different people. Yes. But the thing about it is, when we're in front of everybody, we got to show a unified front.
Absolutely.
And we got to get to pushing the culture forward because that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Hey, seeing them dudes in the same room was like, it's 2020 is look. We done had two Aunt Vivs on TV this week, and Gucci and Jeezy was in the same room at the same time.
We done had two Aunt Vivs.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm like,
but this is great though. This is great. This is great if this is the, I ain't gonna lie, like G, I always try to be optimistic about the future. Like you asked me, where do we see ourselves? I couldn't really answer it because I stopped planning that too much in the future. I stopped planning, like I have goals, you know what I'm saying? I have things that I want to achieve and I know that I'll manifest it. But when I start putting timelines on what I feel should go a certain way, that's when things start crumbling down and you get discouraged, and then you have to go through trying to build yourself back up because you didn't hit your goal how you thought you would, or things changed to different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not our timing. But if you stay positive, if you stay giving good affirmation to what the future will be, then you're gonna manifest that. And I just know that whatever it is, however it play out, it'll happen for me how it's supposed to be for me.
Absolutely.
And I just, like I said, just go with an optimistic air, with an optimistic kind of flow. You know what I'm saying? That everything gonna be all right, everything gonna be good.
I got you. Hey, that's the perfect way to end our segment. We didn't went over because we got to.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, when we get you, we just start talking and just catching up.
I love the conversation. Like we gotta do this again. I gotta get you on IG when I'm starting. When I feel 100%, I bring back the IG live happy hours. We're gonna have to get you back on and hang out and talk some more, man. But I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for catching up with me. I hope you feel better. I hope that, like I said, I'm speaking, you will feel better soon. You're going to be back to yourself. You're going to be normal. Everything going to be all right. God got hands on us.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep putting this Grand Marnier and this Russell's Reserve in my tea, and I'm going to feel a whole lot better. You know what I mean?
It's going to make it glow from inside.
That's all it is. Appreciate you.
All right, see you
everybody,
guys. Thank you.
Instagram, Facebook, how to find you.
Yeah. Let them know how to follow me. Keep in touch with me. If you want to support the organization and what we're doing to get more, of a digital platform for our classes and stuff, because we need money to do that, please go to causeandastir.org. Help us out. We're spreading knowledge, spreading empowerment, and just spreading the wealth.
There it is. All right, guys, that's it. That was our catch up with Alexis from Cause and Stir. Good time, great conversation, man. I love it. Again, before we move to our next segment, because we got two very special guests coming up, everybody please go follow Campari Community on Instagram, please. Get their numbers up. Join the mailing list. Like I said, boom, you see, we got Lexi's modeling off the Campari bottle. You see, I got the lineup behind me, above me, and below me. It's all type of Campari products in my home. So, guys, please jump in, get involved. It's a great resource. I just put it like that. It's a super, super great resource. So, with that being said, our last few weeks, we have had a little bit of a change, right? We haven't just been talking to bar professionals. We spoke with, a beer expert. We spoke with a chef last week. And this week, we're moving to wine. And we have Miss Julia Coney coming in. I hope I said her name right. I didn't want to miss. Did I say your name right, Julie?
Hey, you said it correctly. Coney like Coney Island. Woo!
I went to public school, so I just got to make
It's okay.
So I didn't know a lot about your story when we reached out to you. I followed you on Instagram a while ago, and I love your posts and I love your interactions. So I just wanted to bring you on and I want you to tell everybody, your beginnings, how you got into the industry, and what do you do?
Oh, thank you very much. Well, first, I always say at my core, I'm a wine journalist. And so what I do is I actually speak about the intersection of racism in the wine industry. I started speaking of that in January 2018 when I had a lot of aggressions, a lot of racist things happen to me because I entered the wine business in 2016. I come from a beauty background. So the way I started really getting into wine in the late 90s, started traveling to Europe and France, then Italy, just really enjoying wine on vacation, really learning about it, books. But it wasn't until I moved into the industry in 2016 that I realized that it's a lot of racism going on in the industry. Like one time I met a winemaker, he told me, I didn't expect you to be black. And I told him, well, I didn't expect you to be an asshole, but here we are. Like, boom, like, because they weren't just used to that. Or people will say, oh, you've been to Bordeaux, like the one in France. And I'm like, that's the only Bordeaux I know. Like, so I really started writing stories about what was happening in the industry. And so over 2 years, I just really had really great opportunities to travel the world, tasting wine, drinking wines. But usually I was one of the few or only Black people on media trips, media events. You know how those things work. And so I kept always asking, like, I know a lot of Black wine people, but why aren't they getting the same recognition? And what I realized is it's the people who were the gatekeepers that own the list didn't know about them, right? So when everything happened this summer with George Floyd, and I always have to say this, I would not have founded Black Wine Professionals had that man not passed away. Because he was killed. As he not been killed, that would, because I didn't have the time, because I was doing 100,000 miles a year in the air. I was literally gone every month, 10 to 12 days. And with that, I decided to start found Black Wine Professionals, which is a major listserv to highlight and promote Black wine professionals. So someone can never tell me again, I don't know any Black people that work in the industry.
Word.
So when people are looking for need people for jobs, and I don't mean necessarily, I mean wine education, a lot of these virtual classes going on. If you need a Provence expert, I have one for you. I'm not a Provence expert. Now I'm a champagne person. I know I can talk bubbles, right? And I'm glad about this spirit because I have my cocktail that Sherri made for me right here, right? And then I'm actually going to add some to a little champagne I got to like make my own little cocktail after this. But I discovered that I needed to create this. I created what wasn't around.
Okay.
And it came out of my heart. I went on Instagram Live and I just really was hurt by the fact that the wine community is really silent on Blackout Tuesday. And I just went and started calling everybody out because I was like, I don't have nothing else to lose. This man has lost his life. Like, what are y'all gonna do? You either gonna show up or not? And I will say the response has been amazing. One of my partners, my first partner that reached out to me, I got to highlight him, is Laurent Perrier. They created 5 scholarships. So 5 of the people on Black Wine Professionals get to take the Champagne Master Certification, which in the industry means you can get a better job. You can lead classes because you're considered an expert. I did it last year. I know how hard it is. Also, it's a lot of money. They're also providing all the champagne.
It's a good deal.
Good deal. So I always sometimes think like I always laugh that the spirits industry they keep us separate. The beer, wine, and spirits, they always keep us separate. I'm like, no, we're not separate. We're like, everybody I know who drinks wine, we also drink cocktails. I also drink beer. I'm not separate. I have a preferred passion of work that happens to be wine. But what I do, my work and my legacy, which I have figured out with all this is happening, is to promote the Black wine professional around the world, get them jobs, get them assignments, get them classes. Also, I'm a contributing editor at VinePair. Okay. Which is a digital platform, about drinks. I've been so happy to bring new voices in, new people to write stories, new people to do things. So it's just really just trying to promote my community and everything. So that's what I do.
Word, love it. It's funny. It's almost like looking in the mirror because that's how I created Brown and Balance, how Alexis created Cause and Stir. We saw that disconnect.
The disconnect.
Where it's like, you're hearing some of these gatekeepers saying, well, I don't know any Black bartenders. And it's like, well, how you don't?
Exactly. Like, what?
Of my head, you know what I mean? There was a big dust up in the wine community. Last week before?
Yes, about the sexual harassment with the quartermaster sommeliers.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, my thought is horrible. Flat out is wrong, right? But I don't do CMS, which is the quartermaster sommeliers. I am WSET. It's kind of 2 paths. Okay. There's like the writing, educating path and the restaurant path. Either way, all that crap has got to stop. This whole like treating people like crap, sexually harassing, people feeling they don't have a choice, and they needed to blow it up. You know what? Because guess what? Sometimes when you blow things up, when it gets put back together, it's better.
Absolutely. I feel
so it's only gonna benefit the community. That's it.
And I feel like that about our government. Just blow the whole thing up, man.
Let it implode from the inside, and then you guess what? When we put it back together, it's gonna look a little different. It's going to sound a little different. It's going to be more access. It's also like
problem. People don't give that.
They don't want to give it up. They don't want to give up that power. And the thing of it is, the beauty of power is when you do give it up. Mm-hmm. The power is in giving it up. The power is not in controlling it. It's when you give it up. And it will cause more people of color, more women who and a lot of people dropped out before all this, right? Before this came, like, you had so many people drop out because it's like, I can never achieve it because somebody's going to stop me. There's a reason I'm not getting ahead. Why are we making this so hard? At the end of the day, I love wine. It's still fermented grapes. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's fermented grapes. So my thing I like to talk about is how do I bring people into it? And also how do I sustain them in it?
Okay.
Like, right. So one of my goals next year is to start a mentorship
Oh, really?
Also, from wine. That is my goal, really, to launch it, because a lot of people in the business wants to get into it, right? And I don't mean like just like I want to do wine. A lot of wine is factual,
Mm.
just like spirits, right? So a lot of this is factual. You got to know the facts, right? But mentoring you along the way, like, are you studying, right? Okay, let's discuss this grape. Let's discuss the different expressions of this grape. I need you to understand it just works differently if it's in California, it works differently if it's in France. So also providing that outlet, like, hey, I'm trying to do this. I don't know which way to go. And also I'll tell people there's no straight path to careers, in my opinion. My career is doing this. It's like a loop-de-loop. And unless you want to be on this loop-de-loop panel, then you just need to go get a regular job.
And there it is. And stay out of it.
Stay out of it. But I love it, though. I love it.
See, I love when I talk to people who are media trained, because like you've answered like probably 7 or 8 of my questions just in conversation that I don't even have to ask you now. So I appreciate that.
Can I tell you what that is?
Go, please.
It's not, it's not even media. I decided when I wanted to actually speak, I went to Toastmasters. You heard of Toastmasters?
Yeah.
I started really doing Toastmasters, and I actually practice in my mirror. Like, it's no secret. I tell people this all the time. It's just the work.
Preparation.
Because if you can't tell me what you want to do in 30 seconds, then you need to go back.
And there you have it. So what you got coming up on the horizon? With us, being under quarantine, eventually we'll come out of it. What's coming for you soon?
Well, for me, I do a lot of Instagram lives. I talk about sparkling. I'm really passionate about sparkling wine. I want to bring sparkling wine as an everyday beverage. It's still a wine. It just has bubbles. So I usually do Instagram lives on Monday, not doing one this Monday. But the main thing is I'm launching the mentorship program. If you know any people who want to, like, we have requirements for Black wine professionals, I will say, if you're new to the industry, this isn't the platform for you. It's for people who've already established, already have skin in the game. So we have a 2 to 3 year requirement that you have to be in. But there's a lot. I'm working on scholarships with a bunch of companies. Wine Unified, they're doing scholarships. And if people want to, a lot of places now are giving people scholarships. So if you're watching this and you want to be in the industry and you're trying to move into it, there's a lot of scholarships. Reach out to me. And, I'm on social media. Black wine professionals, Julia Coney, all of that. And I can help you go to everybody. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the mentorship, because so many people ask for mentors and I don't have a bandwidth to talk to people individually. So if I create a platform to talk to them at one time a month, then do the coursework, because it's going to be coursework, because my mentors give me homework. They're going to have homework. So, and I'm not an easy mentor. I tell people this all the time. I'm a hard mentor because I hold your foot to the fire.
You should be. I mean, if you give it to somebody easy, they're not going to work for it. They're not going to appreciate it. So I get it. Trust me, I'm not an easy person to work for. When you ask me for help either. So I totally can respect that.
But here's the thing. It's not about, I think I will say this, you probably are easy. The problem of it is people expect so much of you, and you only have so much before you can give everything you have away. So, because you got to give to yourself before you give yourself away. And when I tell people, one thing we're not getting anymore is time. So if you can't come to me and be the mentee that I need, you're wasting my time. Also, you're wasting somebody else's slot.
Exactly.
So that's what I plan to do. So it's one of those, like, the only thing come to dreamers is sleep. So if you want to work with me and have me as your mentor, just know it's gonna be tough.
I'm still in that, Drew. I'm just gonna
let still away.
That was a good one. I like it. Okay. So again, it's funny you mentioned about how beer, wine, spirits has all been separated. I always make that joke, like it's always it's like the Holy Trinity, right? But nobody together. If it was someone who's in their home, they're watching this, and they don't know a lot about wine, what's a good sparkling, a good still red, and a good still white that they can have in their home, that's not the other stuff that we don't really want to drink, but just a quality.
Okay. I will say, if you're looking at sparkling and you're trying to get into it, J Vineyards out of California makes some really great sparkling. They start at $20 and they can go up. But I think for sparkling, it's a really great. If you're into white, I would say look into Italian whites. They're easy outside of Pinot Grigio. I'm talking, really good grapes like Fiano. Those are really, really fun. Perbacco, which is this indigenous grape out of Italy, but it's really easy if you like white wines. If you're going to red, I always tell people, go to Pinot Noir. You can either have it from Oregon or you can have it from France. But if the best value for your money is Spain.
Word.
Spain is your best value, white, red, rosé, whichever one it's gonna be your best value.
See, I didn't know. I just learned something new. Cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I got my spirits. I'm good there, but I'm
Oh, I got that. I see. Is that the Russell's 10?
Yeah, you already know it's back there.
Yeah. Look, I got this. I'm gonna play around with this today.
Yes,
I'm gonna put this in some champagne, make me a little cocktail. It's gonna be on.
All right, I love it. Well, look, Julia, I appreciate you coming on, sharing.
Thank you for having me.
I would love for us to do this again. Maybe you come over on my IG channel, I come over on yours, and we can really just chop it up.
Let's do that.
Talk a little, because IG is us, so we can have a little more of a conversation.
Yeah, let's do that. And I love the conversation with you and Alexis, because I didn't watch last night because honestly, that's just not my. I was a little older, so that wasn't my hip hop people. But at this day, I just really started watching it again. I was like, oh, this is why everybody. Okay, it was good. It was interesting.
I was just praying that it didn't go left, because it 10 years ago that would have went a whole nother direction.
But see, I didn't even know the background until I started reading this morning. I didn't know any of that had happened, so it was new to me, which is interesting. So it was. I like y'all conversation on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go over on IG in a little while and probably have a little bit more in depth. I could talk a little. I could say things that I can't really say on here.
Well, I'm gonna come watch it then.
Shout out to the sponsors. I don't want to say. Yeah. You know how it goes.
Oh, and thank y'all for my sweatshirt too. I have my sweatshirt, and it's really warm because it was cold here this week in DC.
Ain't it?
It's warm.
All right. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, guys, that was amazing. Like I said, I didn't know Julia very well. Been following her for a while. That was dope, just to get that little snippet of education from that young lady. She's an amazing person. I can't wait to chop it up and learn some more from her. But with that being said, drum roll. I'm excited. First of all, shout out to Thirsty. Everybody follow Thirsty on Instagram. Thirsty's been our media partner. They've come through with all the featured bartenders, all the interviews. They've been amazing. This week, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, last week was Eric, who was somebody I kind of looked up to, and it was a lot of fun to sit down and talk with him. But our featured bartender today is somebody I came up with, who I saw from the beginning, who I remember rooting him on in his very first competition at Tales of the Cocktail way back in like 2012, 2011. Man, this is my brother. This is my friend. Ain't no more words I can say. I just want to say, who? Mike Jones.
Yo, am I here? Yeah. Hey, man, for the culture, baby. Gee, I should put on my sunglasses, son. I should put them on just to keep it going, man. I'm still recovering. I got the hat on. Let me take it off. I just got out the trap. Man.
2003 last
What's
night.
Up, bro?
I was bartending, man. It felt good. You know what I mean? How are you, brother?
Hey, bro, I'm well. I'm doing so well, man. God is good. Everything is good. Man, look, I just got out of being in college in 2004 to 09 in the AUC, Morehouse Spelman. Y'all don't know how that thing felt, man. Strolling all the frats, strolling and sorority, strolling all that music, bro. Look, man, Compound. Look, Visions, Magic City. Like, hey, man.
You got to be a certain age to remember them days, man, back then, man. So, bruh. I just want to say,
off the chain.
Happy to have you on here, man. Like, when we were putting this together, and I put together my list of like people I want to bring on, thing about Brown and Balance is always about not necessarily getting the most notable names, but getting the names that people need to know, right? And I mean, me and you go way back, dog. Literally the beginning of both our careers. And I remember
I was the baby.
Yeah, both of us was. You know what I mean?
I was the baby.
We had no idea what we was really doing, and people thought we was way ahead of where we were, man. So, I just want to say you were at the top of my list, man. I'm really glad you was able to make some time to come on, man, share your story, bro. Because this is major for me. For the fact that from where we started to both of us on the platform, being sponsored by Campari to do this, all the moves you made over the years. I've seen places all over the country. You know what I mean? I'm moving around doing my thing, bro. I just want to say I appreciate you, man. I love your grind. I just want to thank you for being on here. Straight
Yeah,
up, man.
absolutely, man. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Josh. Man, and Alexis. Anything, man. I'm so proud, man. I shut down a coffee shop for 2 hours to do this. So,
That's
you
what's
know, it's people walking past here. Can they get in? Nope.
up.
I had to get them to turn the music off in the mall. Look, ain't even no music in the mall going on right now, just for this. The whole mall.
I love it, man.
It's hilarious.
Get out the
Yeah.
way, man. I want you to go ahead, man, and just tell your story. Tell your people to know how you got started in the industry, man, the moves you made, and to got you to where you are right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be brief with it because you'll read about it in the book I'm working on called Bread, Butter, and Cigarettes. But the whole thing, I was in Atlanta. I was in college, Morehouse College. This is back in 2000. I was at school 2004, but I got into the Atlanta food and beverage industry around 2008, 2007, 2008, and this is during the crash. I was working with, and if he's watching this, I told him I would mention his name forever, forever, ever. Walter Jordan, when I was at Rare. Walter Jordan, Lorenzo White, and also Douglas Hines, who later I would be with at the consulate. But I got started there, and I was just a dishwasher, man. But I always joke and say, man, I was the best dishwasher in Atlanta, man. They got my jersey hanging in the rafters. My dishes was always clean, bro. Always. And I learned so much from Walter. Never seen a man, and this is back when he was wearing the Steve Harvey suits. We weren't quite into the Euro cut yet. We had a Euro cut. But just real quick on this, I remember him hopping and helping me on the expo line, and you know, this is back when it wasn't so PC, man. The chefs used to cuss you out, man, throw shit. Excuse my vernacular or my French toast. I mean, throw stuff, and all that's, man. And he would come on with his cufflinks that he always would say is older than me, and man, he'll knock it out, and then he'll take his jacket off, hand me his jacket, get on the cook line, and he'll knock out some mac and cheese, knock out a whole list in order, man, put his cufflinks back on, put his jacket on, turn to me and wink and walk out the door. I said, man, I want to do this. I want to do this. But that was the very, very beginning. How I got really into it, what really drew me in was when I started at One Flew South in the Atlanta Airport Concourse E, which of course is the first fine dining airport restaurant within Atlanta, but also I think within the United States, to even be nominated for a few James Beard nominations. So I was a part of a special group. Y'all know Tiffany Birrier, of course. Yeah, I mean, I remember when Tiffany was coming from Longhorn. Like, how
Hmm.
about that? Like, this is back then before she went bald head, like y'all see her now. Tokiwa Sears. I remember when I left, she was coming in and she was just starting. Like, Tandi. I mean, it's so many people who all came through that one restaurant that is doing very well. Chef Dwayne Nutter, Chef Todd Richards. Those two have really influenced me. I could have cooked, but I said to myself, all right, I got 10% battery. I don't know how, but I'm trying to make everything work. But I remember I said, man, I don't want to be in the kitchen because the women don't see you in the kitchen, chef. So I'm gonna do the front of the house. So I'm like, and that's where I began. I
Right.
began with that was Jerry Slater, Jeff Buffont, Chef Reggie Washington. Man, we had an all-star crew. And who knew that we would be here damn near 10 years later, man, a decade later. And that's where I got started. CSW, I did CSW for free. I was the only one in there with sweatpants with the infamous Eric Crane of Atlanta, who's going for his master som. I was certified specialist of wine. I became that. I joined the United States Bartenders Guild. This is before it got big and heavy. And then Jerry Slater brought me on to their other project that they did. that I can't remember right offhand because I've been drinking too much Campari products before this in the green room. But no, you know, and then I went on to compete in craft cocktail competitions. As you know, we all know, I made it to the semifinals, man. You're talking GQ Magazine, Bombay Sapphire, Most Imaginative Bartender. I got the People's Choice. I only lost by a point to N. Cox. If you're watching this, it still makes me mad that I could have won that thing and I lost by a point. And then finally, I went on where Josh talked about in 2013, that Tales of the Cocktail. I won my first national craft cocktail competition where I did tear up. But when I say I ain't never seen so many black people in one room, boy, they didn't know what was going on. There was a line outside of the Royal Sonesta hotel where that happened, man. It was a thing, and that's where that was the first time I believe all of the craft black bartenders came together in one. Man, that was a magical week, you know, for everybody. I won that and then went on to with Colin Esarapia of Bacardi USA. I know we Campari, but Colin has done major things for us as well, and his name should be said. Should be said. You know, I don't care whatever platform you on. And he got me into GQ Magazine in 2014. Went on to doing food and wine festivals and working with different brands. Within that, I went to Art Basel, being the lead mixologist, being in Art Beats and Lyrics, doing that as well, which Art Beats and Lyrics is about our culture. That was down in Miami. Man, you name it. I skipped Camp Run 'em Up and went straight to Cane Camp. Shout out to Brittany Johnson I met during this whole time, and I mean, or Lindsey Johnson, and then Brentley Leach and all of them, man, and being able to go to Cane Camp. I was a brand ambassador with Bacardi USA, with Santa Teresa Rum. When I was a beverage director at the consulate, probably my best project. I met Sim Walker and Miss Marva, were my first program with Negril Village. If you guys are in Manhattan, y'all already know what Negril Village is to New York City. And I mean, and I trained, and look, at the time, I was the only one who was willing to leave from crossover to urban multicultural, to where I trained different bartenders into the lifestyle we had. I had the patience to do it, and I've done it. And if you talk to anybody in Atlanta, they know Mike Jones and what I've done. You know what I'm saying there? I got to say at least 20 plus bartenders, black men, black women, and then a sprinkle of some white folks in there too. You know what I mean? You know, and they all doing their thing. But I've always been about education. Oh, yeah, and then I won my second national craft cocktail competition in San Francisco with Merlot, with the sidecar competition twice, and went to France for it twice. But I'm a beverage professional. Then I worked in tobacco, man. I worked with Michael Paul, who I have to talk about. Man, Michael Paul, another mentor of mine, who had Habano Cigar Lounge. And I studied tobacconists there. And now you see me over here with Juanita Darden of Dayton, Ohio. I'm back in my hometown, baby. I'm back. I'm back here and about to make Dayton blow up too, because we are the land where flight was invented, of course. We are in the land of Dunbar, Paul Laurence Dunbar. We are in the land where we did the pop top cans. So any of y'all drinking beer around the world, thank Dayton, Ohio. We have the most patents in the United States until Silicon Valley, you know, took that over, I think, a couple of years ago, but it don't matter. We're talking about things that matter. Dayton has been here. We are the land of funk. There will be no West Coast hip hop without Dayton, because of Trotman and all of them. They all from here in Dayton. Baby, should I keep going on? I'm from Dayton. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm back here. And I'm representing my city hard, and I ain't going nowhere. Alexis, I'm moving you down to Dayton. You can still operate out of here. You know, we just keeping it a buck.
But with that, brother,
you know,
you hella decorated, man. Like, you are one of the few, you know what I'm saying, black bartenders that I know that it's almost like an elite group of people that are super decorated, you know, won competitions, done many, many things across the industry. And And you mentioned that time when we all came together in 2013 at Tails, man. To me, I said this to Tiffany on Instagram Live, what we did. I said that to me, that was the beginning of me putting Brown and Balance together. It was just about all of us coming together and pushing each other to be better. And I'm like, I got a picture of all of us sitting around talking to Douglas. And it's me and you sitting right next to each other. And you can just see the want and the desire in all of us. With that being said, over the years, how have you seen, the Black bartender scene grow? What are some things you would like to see happen with, Black bartenders around the country? What are some things trends you've noticed and stuff like that?
We've grown, and I'm gonna come back to Eric Bennett in a minute, man, and how much I respect that brother, because I had to say that name first just in case if I missed him. So let's just put a pin in that. But we've grown the way that we should. I said it in the interview, Thirsty Magazine, that everybody asked, well, what can they do for us? I said, no, we have all resources, brother. And we now have to allocate those resources. That's the thing. You have everything. The world does not owe you understanding. This is the one thing that I've learned as a man. The world does not owe you understanding at all. Get you a therapist if you need to and figure it out and get moving, because we have a lot of stuff to do. We are in a long line of people, starting with Cato Alexander, okay, in 1810. Black bartender. The only reason why you haven't heard about bartenders and the things that we did is because you know how religious Black folks are, so you ain't gonna see it in our publications from the mid to late 19th century to the early 20th century. You're not gonna see those things, okay? But we've been there just as much as Edna Lewis been there when it comes to the culinary aspect, when it comes to cooking. She's the mother of Southern cuisine, which is the cuisine of America. You know what I mean? So we have came a long way and we're doing the things. But at some point, when are you gonna be spooked hid by the door? And Josh, I know you know about that if we know about Black exploitation, but spooked hid by the door. You have sat here and you've learned. This is the first time. Remember, our generation is the generation of people where we can even talk about branding as a bartender, man. Let's think about even saying that, where you're making $100K a year as a bartender, even though I blew all that money. But but let's keep it a buck. I mean, let's keep it real. Like who else is in that situation to be able to do that? So now we have these names. You have Tiffany Beer, but man, Tiffany is. How do I even talk about Tiffany?
Yeah,
I always say, on the male side, let me keep it 100. In Atlanta, it was Navarro Carr, and I looked up to Navarro Carr, okay? And Charles Gray, he probably ain't watching this, but it's Vanessa, who is her sister, that's her man, her husband. Then Charles Gray, I remember he was doing this thing. Now he in film. Them are the two Black men that I can even name in Atlanta. Other than that, you know how many Black women in Atlanta then took it and ran with it to where they created a crew. And forgive me if I forget them all, but with Tiffany, Tandy,
all of
Toki, bro. So I told y'all the Campari's hitting. All of them. These women led the whole country when it comes to this. And then when I meet an Alexis Brown, who's a powerhouse herself, who's handling in the Midwest, her and Ariel, who are handling in the Midwest at Tales of the Cocktail. When you talk about the strides, and now we're taking on position to where we're leading and guiding our community, adding value. Understand that. If you want to become valuable, if you want to make some money, money will never leave if you're a valuable person, but you do that to add value to your community. And we all are doing that right now. Corey Brim, shout out. Corey out here, man, doing many things. He's still in my ear about credit because I need him right now to get my credit right. I ain't going to say it online because, investors may be looking. It don't matter anyway. We still going to make the spot. But, all of that stuff. Mia, Who with the Black Bourbon Society came out of this whole thing. You know what I mean? We have all of these mixed logic agency. My thing, I've been doing since 2014. Dude, we got so many things causing a stir. Alexis, I hope I'm still a part of it. I mean, all that stuff. Dude, we're doing so many things, and it's so much. And then you have Fawn Weaver, who then brought now with the Uncle Nearest thing. You know what I mean? It's moving. The fact that Pernod Ricard even got the roots. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Man, there's so many people that I want to talk about with Pernod, and just different things and how they helped me, especially when it came to Martell, even. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just so much. And then the people who helped me, bro, were moving. And then for me to decide to leave Atlanta, to come back up here to my hometown to do this shows you
Mm-hmm.
how it's spreading. Now, what can we do more of? Write your plans down. Write them down first. Everything is in your head. Write them down and begin to execute. Find the resource of people who can help you to accomplish your goals. We
Absolutely. Uh-oh. I think we lost Mike, everybody. A little technical difficulty. Again, hey, it's 2020, everybody. So, look, I just want to say to everybody, thank you for popping in. I know we went a little over today because we had some problems. Can everybody come out the green room real quick and want to come back on? I see Janae popping but come off mute. Y'all come off mute.
Hey.
Hey man, look, we gotta have technical difficulties, right? Like it wouldn't be right if we ain't had no technical difficulties. I see Janae popping
That's right.
but how's everybody? Hey, well, first, I just want to say, I don't know if Mia's still here. I know we probably lost Mike. Mike had the Teddy Riley phone today. So I just want to tell everybody, thank y'all for spending some time with us today. I appreciate all of you for coming on and sharing your knowledge, your strength, everything. It's ironic that last week was no, not last week, 2 weeks ago was the Black Woman Appreciation episode. And now we're going to extend it to this week to all of you all as well. So I just want to say thank you all for just holding us down and being the pillars of our community for all us brothers out
Thank you. You as
here. All right,
well.
anything
And
y'all?
all that you
Oh.
said. Back to you.
Anything y'all want to leave with the people before we go?
Happy
You're on mute,
holidays.
Julia.
Enjoy your family. Love on each other. Be kind to each other. Happy holidays.
Also, drink well. There's a lot of good juice out there. This is the time to drink the good stuff. Don't hold it. Don't wait for it. Just also, just drink champagne because you're thirsty. That's all I got to say.
Only thing I want to say is what I just posted. If a potato can become vodka, you can become a homeowner.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's because we love Campari. If it can become Campari vodka, that's all.
Campari vodka, absolutely.
Yeah, it gotta be a Campari brand vodka. You know what I'm saying? That's the only
Can I
vodka.
put Sherri on the spot, please? Sherri, I want to collaborate on a cocktail with you featuring sparkling wine. I just really want to work on you on that to bring some people in. If y'all don't mind, anybody have cocktail ideas? Janae, I don't do TikTok, baby, but I'm gonna follow you after this because of that. I just want to know who you are. I think it's great. I know Miss Alexis as well. And Mia, thank you and everything. I'm going to go follow all you guys. But I would love to come up with different cocktails so people could have, not in a rush because we all going to be home for a while. So we don't need to rush on creating this cocktail, but something with sparkling wine and a cocktail.
Okay.
I just want to say, Julia,
Alexis, you're on mute.
I'm glad I was though, because I was just gonna be over talking you all anyway. But Julia, my audio was messing up. But Julia, I definitely want to connect with you because learning about grapes and learning about wine. Cognac is one of my favorite categories anyway, just because of the complexity. And I want to learn and understand like grapes and wine from that basic standpoint and just understanding how it goes into everything. So I'm definitely gonna connect with you so I can expand my knowledge and my experience on that that front. So please, 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 I'll make you some cognac cocktails, pay you in cognac cocktails.
Hey, look, we support each other. Look, I added some of this to that champagne, and I was like, "Ooh, why haven't I been doing this?" So
Right. Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah, so a lot of fun.
I love it. I
Yes,
love it.
it's
Thanks
so
y'all
good
again.
seeing all of you all too. My audio was messing up, but I to be around all these beautiful black women. Thank you, Josh, for putting this together. Thank you, Kompari. You know, I just am happy that we can get these type of platforms and be able to like really kind of be ourselves, be let our hair down a little bit and be actual talk about things. So thank y'all for the platform. Thank you for always including me in these things. Thank you.
Always, always. It's all love, man. It's about, reaching out and getting everybody together. So I'm not gonna take too much more of y'all time. We'll be back on December 4th. If y'all love hip hop like I do, y'all know December 4th is a special date. So you know what I mean. It's gonna be the whole appreciation episode around
Oh,
the balance. Yeah. So we're gonna have some fun. We back with my brother Omar Euphone, straight out of Dallas. You know what I mean. It'll be the first. That's the first bar we ever had around the balance at. So it's gonna be a good time to talk about how that all came about, how the story carried. So with that being said, I'm out. I love